I do want to talk some sports villains. This whole topic kind of kicked off because of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese once again getting into it. And it made me think that to talk about the heel in sports and those personal villain stories or arcs. Noah put together a video for us once again. I told you he has a lot of time on his hands. So, Noah, hit that, intro it for us.
Wide open. You knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that foul.
Unreal. What a game. And how about Mr. Halliburton?
On the sideline, the whole time it seemed like Vontez perfect, and yes.
Enjoy yourself, dog. You bitch, fuck you. I am not a role model.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
That clip of Michael gets me every time. Like, it just has me laughing. That dude, man, was the ultimate competitor. Also why he has no friends. But let's get into it. I want to hear your guys' takes on how you feel about those contentious relationships. The thing is that typically speaking, there's always a villain and a hero, right? More recently, Caitlin Clark, since we talked about that off the jump, she's put into the media as more of the hero figure, where the rest of the league's trying to tear her down, in particular Angel Reese. I think both of them are just competitors, and I think Angel Reese gets a lot of hate that she shouldn't get. Let me say that first and foremost. But at the same time, I think her being in that villain role, maybe popping off on Caitlin Clark when it's just a hard foul that's part of basketball, I think that's good for the sport, because it makes the narratives more interesting and it makes you want to tune in. But I want to hear what you guys think. I think we're back to John starting. If we're not, we're going to do that anyway. So John, go ahead. Give me your take.
Yeah, my long and short of it is it makes the game better. Yes, 100%. When I think about the greatest rivalries or the greatest performers and the people who can knock them off, that was the most fun of watching any sport for all the sports. My favorite era in tennis was Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi, or Venus and Serena on the women's side going back and forth at it as sisters. Favorite in golf was Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. Favorite in boxing was Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. Ali Frazier should be in that conversation, even though much to, Noah, this might be a surprise, was not alive for the Ali Frazier fights. Gretzky and Lemieux, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
The way you end up with a Superman is to have a villain. There is no Batman without the Joker and the Riddler and the Catwoman, right? Like, you got to have the yin to the yang. And in my opinion, it always makes the sport better. The only thing that I think I hate, or the hedge that I would have, is when people take up political, personal, socioeconomic kind of feelings and put it into the sports. Mm-hmm. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have a hell of a rivalry. They're both amazing competitors. We've been watching it since college. We're going to be watching it in pro. It's like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. But when Magic and Larry were going back and forth, there were just a certain number of people that go, this is a black guy versus a white guy. It's less racially charged than it was in the 70s and 80s. When I see the comments and look at social media and see the stuff's going on, why is Angel Reese the bad girl? Why is Caitlin Clark the good girl? Did they really either of them do anything better or worse than each other? I think the rivalry is great for the sport. I don't want to overanalyze it, but just be careful to not let your implicit bias project onto these great athletes doing their thing. But outside of a little bit of misplaced social anxiety on these athletes based on things that don't really come down to them, yeah, I'm all in for the rivalries. I think they're great for sports. I think they're great for the sport that they're in, and they're great for the teams that these folks play for.
You kind of stole the words out of my mouth. No, I want to hear from you in a second, but I was going to say essentially the exact same thing, that too often we, as society, we frame these matchups exactly as you're saying in a broader landscape than what they are, which is a sports rivalry. And when that happens, particularly on the negative side, and that's where we see it the most, it's really frustrating, and we need to do better in general. And the media plays into it. I think they're a part of it. They know exactly what they're doing when they're posting those clips and getting those reactions online, because all they care about are eyeballs or clicks, regardless of what that does to us, in an effort to divide us. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what we're dealing with in that particular scenario in those two particular players. And I think that's a shame because they're both really, really good athletes. These are two women that, I mean, they square off, and they were 1 and 2 in Rookie of the Year, and they're so much fun. Both of them are so fun to watch, that it's a shame that it has to devolve, especially some of the comments you see on social media. Just remember, folks, that social media is not real life. One more point I want to make, to John's point, and that is, my guy, you could choose any tennis guys in the world, and you went back to Sampras. I mean, we had the core 3, really 4, but which is the greatest tennis of all time. But that's okay. I'll forgive you. You're just showing your age a little.
Can I jump
Noah,
in?
Please.
So before I go immature with this, I want to say that I echo the sentiment of everything that you guys have to say, minus the fact that I've always kind of thought Angel Reese is a little overrated. She can't score the ball to save her life. Her shooting percentages are god awful. But she has the hype, and she has a lot of the different things that are going for her, whether it be the LSU run. Go ahead.
Wasn't she the quickest, most double doubles or triple doubles in WNBA history? Something like that.
So 10 and 10.
I don't remember the stat, but I mean, come on, give some credit where it's due, my man.
What are you doing?
I also don't like her own rhetoric towards Caitlin Clark in general. It gives jealousy, as we've talked about on this show before. When we dove into that rivalry and those comments that they made towards each other last WNBA season. Now, I say all of that to get past the super mature level takes that you guys have, to get to the point that I am the resident wrestling fan, and God damn it, I love a good heel. They're good for the sport. They are good for the entertainment factor. How much do you hate Draymond Green, both of you?
Quite a bit. He's a player I'd love to have in a Cavs uniform in his prime, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll throw you your bone.
Does that not make that rivalry better?
For sure, but the part of the reasons I hate Draymond beyond just normal hate is he's a douchebag that's kicking people and shit. Like, he takes it beyond sport. That's my biggest problem with Draymond.
Right, but it's still good for the sport because people pay attention and listen and get pissed off or love him because he's on the Warriors and you're a Warriors fan. It is all good for the sport, and it makes the game better because it gives it gives people a bad guy. In our eyes, Stephen Curry is an asshole. He threw his mouth guard and all of that, but to most people, he is one of the faces of the NBA. I know I'm being hyperbolic when I say he's an asshole or whatever to us. If you don't respect Stephen Curry's game even after the rivalry, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Well, you can be both, Noah. Like, you can be an asshole and the face of the game.
Right,
a lot of people
100%.
who tell stories about Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. None of them said, what a kind-hearted, loving human being. They said he was a dick, but he was good at basketball.
I agree with you. And the other thing I wanted to point out is I just love a good heel, man. Growing up, everybody has their father. They have a favorite player. My dad loved Michael Jordan, as a lot of parents, or you guys, well, John potentially did.
I love Michael Jordan as the father. My dad liked Dr. J, but continue.
You know what I mean. My favorite vintage basketball player has been and will always be one Charles Barkley, because of the "I'm not a role model" ad. It just gave badass, and that gives him. I know he didn't win a ring, and there's a lot of disgruntled. You could say a lot of different things about him, but having that heel role in sports, to me, is so important. The Aaron Judge boo going to the bat, or hell, even I'm not condoning what the Astros did, but the group effort of hatred towards a team for whatever reason, whether it be the Yankees, the Astros, the Cowboys in the NFL, the Lakers and the Celtics in the NBA, that the heel role in sports to me is so important, because if it was everybody's hunky dory all the time, it would take I mean, I'd still watch sports probably just because I'm that far into it, but it would take a little bit of the edge off.
100%, you're right. I think that there is the heel. I think it's funny that you bring up the Yankees to kind of bring it full circle. Like, everyone loves to hate those teams. I think that Houston maybe took the mantle after their cheating scandal.
Right.
I mean, they should have just been banned outright from baseball, period. But yeah, it makes the game so much more fun to watch, those rivalries. And Jordan is a perfect example. I mean, if you haven't watched that, I know you two have, but if you haven't watched that documentary, go watch it. I think it's now on Netflix, because goddamn, nobody likes him. I mean, nobody likes him. And he's arguably one of, if not the greatest basketball player of all time. LeBron, same way. He played that role when he went to Miami, and it kind of worked for him a little bit. Although I will say one of my favorite all-time fake commercials is they paired Nike or LeBron's Nike commercial where it's like, what, shiny new shoes? Like, he's kind of complaining of the hate he's getting because LeBron never likes to be hated. And then it cut to a Jordan Nike commercial from back in the day, and they flow perfectly where Jordan's like, what, you thought it was easy? And then it's such a good commercial. I don't know if you guys have seen that, combine that, but
it's an excellent commercial. And I will say, no, I was shaking my head and making faces, not because I disagree with you. Just the fact that your age means that a nostalgic basketball player is Charles Barkley. Bro, when the original Dream Team went to Barcelona in 92, I was in elementary school. I actually watched them play, and you're like, a nostalgic player. I'm like, Oscar Robertson is a nostalgic player.
That's nostalgic.
It still could be nostalgic for you. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair. I'm not criticizing you. It's just the reason I was shaking my head. We evolved the conversation, and I love it too. We started off talking about one-on-one rivalries between people, Caitlin Clark, Tiger Woods. We listed some people. We have one person who's kind of your evil empire. But I like where we headed to. Some of my favorite memories are watching big-time rivalries. Once the Cleveland teams are out, watching some of the other cities with big rivalries. Like Lakers Celtics was a big deal. Boston, New York is a big deal. My favorite non-Guardians baseball series, I might have to eat this later, but I'm thinking of it offhand. The Red Sox going down 3-1 to the Yankees and then winning 3 in a row to beat them and go to their first World Series and win it since the curse of the Bambino. Like, that is an awesome freaking year. And the Red Sox Yankees ALCS was unbelievable. Like, it was so lit. That first one.
Even as a former Yankees fan, I will say that the movie Fever Pitch that was shot during that run, so it's with what's his name, the late night guy, Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
he plays like it's a romantic comedy, right? And he plays a Boston, like crazy Boston fan, like season tickets with his friends. They divide it up like it's a holiday kind of thing.
Yeah,
they were shooting the movie while those playoffs were happening and fully expected them to lose, obviously. And they had to change the movie because they went on and won. And it completely changed the ending of the movie. It's a good movie, even as a former Yankees fan.
Yeah.
From my misguided
youth. It hurt
youth.
because the Manny Ramirez left Cleveland thing was still recent enough at the time. Like, now it seems like ancient history, but so many players from those great 90s Indians teams went on to help some of these other franchises win World Series. Good for them, because I didn't hate any of them, but except Albert Bell, he's kind of an asshole, but I like him now.
Yeah.
But you
get taking out that second baseman, though, is one of the greatest clips of all time. I mean, he could have played pro football the way he took that dude out.
He was a menace.